Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was little late, just trying to speed things up. So welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first time, if you are visiting, and if you like any of my videos, there are lots of videos, even including lives, and then some of the other landscape, including watercolor, is also there. But nowadays, I'm concentrating more on only acrylic on this. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button as well, so at least that way uh, videos will be able to reach more and more people. So let's get started. So today, as you know, and already you know the reference photo, so that's what I'm going to follow. It's a very beginner one, so I don't want uh, that to make it complicated. I'll just make it a little bit more colorful, but butterfly I'll keep it as is. But apart from that, rest of it I will keep it as is. So let's try to concentrate on exactly how it looks. um, the reference photo what I have is good enough because the background actually contrasts with the butterfly itself, so we'll just keep that in mind. For that, here what I've taken is, instead of um, canvas cloth or pad, this time I've taken acrylic paper, which I have 300 GSM acrylic paper. So that's what, because I'm going to turn this into some kind of card, so that's the reason. For every painting I have a different reason that how I'm actually going to use them. So it will be on my website. My website is being a little bit being updated, so you'll get a notification, so that you can actually subscribe on my website, so you get notified whenever these live or otherwise any course discount, anything is available on my website. So let's get started. So the main thing is the first is a paint. All the paints I'm going to use are Winsor Newton. Every time I show this, but although I'm doing it from India, but some of them might buy the same brand, or otherwise there are many other brands. Camel is there. As you can see here, Camel, I'm using Camel. White, because I run out of white most of the time. I'm using Camel, these two colors. Although I have in Winsor Newton, but these are the things that I usually use. And this is basics which I bought when I was in Canada and US. So these are there. These are not artistic paints, but actually they are working out very well for me, because I need to finish them. So this is the vertical portrait size format, and then we are going to paint it on this surface. So let's start painting. Apart from that, I have a liner brush. One might be useful or might not be, but anyhow, I have round brush and then filbert brush. It's not a must that you need to have filbert brush, because in this case, actually, I can see that the edges of the butterfly is actually not the cornered one. You can still use it with other brush as well. I have a sea sponge. What I thought is, instead of actually using brush for background, so we'll use this sponge and we'll see how it goes. The top portion of that is actually ultramarine blue or a little bit violetish color. So I'm going to use dioxazine purple from this, or otherwise you can use purple if you have your own mixed purple. So I'm going to use, because this is a little bit darker, but it's transparent. So I don't have to worry about it, but I don't want to make it too dark. So that's the intention. Instead of putting it on the surface, two ways you can actually do. You might have seen many YouTube videos. They put paint all this. Then sometimes I feel that effect is good. All the time effect is good, but the amount of paint that is being used. So that is just my thing. So you don't have to. You can actually put it on that, because this is paper. I don't want to put and mix them. I'll be needing some white. Which I need more white, not some. So I'll be using that damp sea sponge. So I'm going to grade with a little bit of what I'll do is I'll use gold ochre instead of cadmium lemon. Let's try this one, because this one is opaque, and even Naples yellow deep is also opaque. But I don't know, I can actually use one of this, and then let me use the green at the bottom. It's very light at the bottom, so we have to make sure that Acrylic dries darker, so I have to keep in mind that it's actually going to be very subtle. What if it is with a brush, what I would suggest is apply white and then apply these ones if you want them lighter, or otherwise mix them on the palette. I would suggest not to mix them on palette, so you can actually just blend it. Most of the time you will see that's what, but as long as you have that experience of actually blending it on top, do it. Otherwise don't do it, because that's actually going to be uh, a disaster if you don't have experience with you can try it out, because this is a paper, so I have to understand my surface where I'm painting. So this is the sea sponge. I'm going to dip it in water. I'm going to dip it in water and squeeze it out so that it was stiff. Now it is soft. Little bit water is there in that. I don't want too much water on that. So let's take, I will just stipple here itself and then go on that. As you can see, it is darker. Like I said, it is darker, so I'm going to go with white here. Some textured background. I wouldn't say that it's actually going to be a smooth blend, so just keep that in mind. That's my intention. As I come down, I'm just going to take, that's the reason I said I don't want to use brush, so I will get some kind of effect, and then I will take that golden ochre again, mix this with white, blend it here. So far away, something white, more white. I think I need more and more white. Okay, let me just squeeze some more white, because that's why you have to have more color when you are doing it this way. If you feel that your surface is actually going to dry, so that's the part which I was talking about. You have to keep in mind the texture from this sea sponge, or otherwise even other sponge, but sea sponge actually gives you a very good texture of like foliage or the bush. So that's where I'm going to leave, so you will know that for our trees. Then I'll straight away take green, but I don't want that to be again too, again a sort of bush at the bottom. So I'll take a little bit of yellow and mix with that. It looks like there are some bands here, but we will try to mix that here and there. You have to see what I'm actually going to, what we are actually going to put later. Based on that itself, you have to manage. So in between, I can actually put some lines here itself, so that some kind of so lines are there instead of brush. The twigs or any plants that I'm actually planning. So that is that. And put some more darker at the bottom. Just the edge of this. This is what I'm using. I'm not using any brush, as you can see. If I speed up, want to speed up this process of drying, you can actually use dryer. But make sure you get the, doesn't have to, so that should be good enough. I will just put some more lines here a little bit longer, so which breaks up that particular line. These are far away, very, again I'm not smooth blending any of this. Far away ones, we'll put the ones which we need uh, here, and calm down a little bit. There it is going to dry darker, so you have to keep that in mind. Just a little touch of that gold ochre, so that way actually it gives a nice effect again. Should be enough. Just you play with the sponge here so you can get all the effect you actually need. The top one, I don't know. Let me just. I think the top portion is good enough because our. I will just mix little bit of this with dioxygen purple with white, so I can actually take this little bit upwards just to get some effect there. Added a drop of water, so that's why you get the texture. So, but that's okay. I don't want that to be too light and too dark, so should be good enough. We will be doing some at least. Okay, that should be good enough. Washed my this one. I need to wash this later, anyways. Okay, so because it's on paper, so it is little bit drying faster, so I can actually manage my continue my painting. If it is canvas, maybe if it is not dried, just so if it is not dried, you can touch and see. We want that to be very uh, bright and colorful. So there is one cadmium lemon which I had mentioned, so we'll try to put those flowers far away, very smudged, so we'll go with that first. uh, I think I need to have as well as green too. Okay, so my daughter is here. She brought fresh water. After that, this sponge, it was all just done. So let's just see. I think I'm going to use this brush and then use dry brush because I don't want any crispy edges. So for that reason, we'll just put a dry brush here and there, correct? And just there, some more. Far away. If you feel that they're not, I think the color is correct. I don't want that to be darker than this. So I'll just put here and there. As you can see, the bottom layer is dried, so it's not getting mixed up with any of that. But I just feel, let's just put some more here. Just a smudged. Doesn't have to have only one or two will make it very distinct. Other than that, we'll just leave it as is. There one more is there. One more. So now I'm just using whatever paint left on my brush to show some far away ones. There's some kind of white flower, but we'll see. Let's do some white as well because there are some white flowers. They are not butterflies. I think too far. We'll try that little bit. Let me wash this brush. just very clear, like flowers shape. Some of them actually have this white ones. We'll just put. It's just how, see, as you can see here is filbert brush actually helps a lot if you think in terms of that. So let's take a little bit of, I will put a little bit for some of this, and I will just, I should have put orange, but I am actually going to go with this, just at the bottom. And then wipe it off on my cloth and just try to rub it while it is little bit wet. Smudge it, smudge it, smudge it, so it is not exactly okay. Then while we are at it, we will try to have some green as well. Smudged, everything smudged. A little bit at the tip of, at the bottom of the flower. So we'll put that lines at the bottom later. That goes beyond and then it comes over there. Right? Okay. So again, they are very light. So I'm going to mix that with yellow. I don't want that to be too dark. I've added just a drop of water. I'm still not using liner brush or anything. So we'll just first we'll draw this very light lines with this brush itself. There, there, there. Don't want that to be darker. We'll put the darker one whichever is needed. If you feel that it's too dark, just run your finger over it so you can smudge them in there itself. I think put that there. Add touch of water if you cannot get that paint tip of. So we'll get a little bit darker green as well, just to put some lines, not everywhere, just as part of some highlighter shadows. So let me just take a touch of water so I know, otherwise I'll be struggling with that. There, Here one more maybe little bit light so it shows through there. Little bit of cluttered here, so I don't want to have that. Just the lines here I can keep more. Hmm. Little bit line here. There. Okay. So while we are at it, what I'll do is if I really wanted a little bit of that dry brush white, I'm looking at my screen as well, so just so that flowers are actually very small. This is not the main flower. Flowers are actually just there is some white is there. I'm just doing again some dry brush. Don't want to compete with anything here because that needs to be for butterfly. Just the shape of some flowers. Just some stippling again, not everywhere. Just so that I can actually break any pattern that I see. That should be more than enough. I think I'm not going to do too much. So let's keep it that way. Now let's concentrate on the main painting. So what I'll do is just to get that brightness, there are two yellow flowers. One I want to put it here, one I want to put it here. So for that flower, what I'm going to do here is I will add some white here for that flower. Only on top of that I will add yellow, so I get the brightness. Most of sometimes if I'm doing on black surface, even oil painting, I do this so that I know exactly how to get. So first layer I'll put it and let that dry for some time. So then I know exactly what I'm. You can actually apply 2 3 layers until you feel that it's good enough. It's good enough. So then again, what we'll do is so here is a butterfly. I don't have a diagram, so I will think that actually this is going to go here, there, there. Let it be big. There, let it overlap as well. So I don't mind. For the dark lines, I'm not going to use black, but I will use. This is the underpainting, so don't worry about it. Like I said, otherwise I won't be able to. You can have a transparent wing and then still the background shows through, but I'm going to put it as opaque. So for that reason, I'm going to apply this first layer here, white, and then we'll come back again. By the time flower will be done, this one goes on top a little bit. I don't have any, like I said, drawing here. You can actually, if you feel that you might make any mistakes, so just once this surface dries, draw that, and again go back with that. That's the best suggestion I can give. So let's just have this crispy edges here because we need crispy edges. Edges are anyways a little bit darker, but I need that. Okay. So apart from that, here. So there is some yellow in this. What I'm going to do here is I'll just put some yellow, greenish type, right? Just a little bit of yellow, and making sure that my strokes are like for going towards following the contour of that, so that I don't make any. See those lines. The lines are in this direction, so my strokes are in this direction. I try to follow this contour of any object most of the time, so that if you make mistake, you know those lines are actually not going to distract you. So that's about it. I also see some kind of greenish at the bottom, so I will just use this green whatever I have here, and I think I'm going too close, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. So the underline color I have applied. I think this is one thing about good thing about filbert brush is that I can actually apply to the corners here. Right. So now let's go back to the flower and then we'll come back with that. So if I'm going to go back with the flower, like I said, now that it is, we'll come back with that. So we'll use all the color, this and this, both of them. This is what we said. This is going to be main flower, and then I'm going to switch to my round brush. This time I'm going to take gold ochre, add some drop of water if you really want. Dry brush is actually fine with this. So let's try here, just the lines. Going to put, this is the one which is distinct, so I'm going to leave it like that. That one is good. I will go back again with yellow and put some lines as well. Remember, my gold ochre was transparent and this yellow is also transparent, so you have to keep that in mind. And right, okay, let's do the same thing for this one as well. Just more distinct, and I need some green. Let's take some green while we are at it, and also I'll put some Payne scrape, practically need dark, because that hooker's green is not opaque, so I need to take Payne scrape. But actually if you see, Payne scrape is semi-transparent, it's not transparent or this. So this brush I need to change. Okay, so let's just do this first. I'll wet that part and then we need to put some let's put some lines just there, just like that. And this one actually is bigger, so I am actually going to make this bigger. So that's the intention, that's the main flower. If I really want a little bit darker here and there, I can actually just get that there, right? Right. Okay, so that's good enough. While we are at it, if I take that yellow and mix it with a little bit of and even the gold or a little bit white, I can actually have a little bit of lines going here and there, as well as I can see some petals are there that side. I can take that petal here. Yeah, should be good enough. That is just the part. We'll do the same thing for the other one as well, and then we'll come back with there here. As you can see, I'm not drawing it too big, but making sure that the depth is actually shown darker and lighter. So these are actually distinct more in this one, and then we'll paint according to that. Okay, again going back to a little bit of white and yellow, some petals. Should be enough. So again going back with this and yellow, whatever is there, I'm going to take this because I'm going to use the same brush. This time I will go over my that even the flowers which I drawn. Let's make it a little bit thicker so it's in front of everything. It is thick and it is darker. So let's take a little bit of uh, Hooker's green and Payne's gray just to get it dark. You can actually get it dark with even Daxis purple is a good combination for this to get darker. Prussian blue is good. Phthalo blue is good. So just to make sure that you get that dark. If it is not dark enough, and that. Let's go with again. Maybe just try to blend a little bit here and there. I need to follow one side light, but in this case, I've just left it as is. That's okay. There. I think that should be enough. Then this one actually has some hairs and all this, and so I will see whether I can actually put just the dry brush, just exactly take out everything and wiggle your brush so you get something like that, flat like that, and maybe just you can use even smaller brush, but I'm not going to go too much detail into that, so at least you will know. Yeah, just like that, little bit. You can use even white pen as well at the end, or otherwise if it is too big then you have to just keep in mind that you can go with liner brush. I'll just leave it as is. Just the dry brush, so it is just part of it. Should be enough. Let's start working on here is the main thing. I'm going to take my liner brush. Let's deal with before any dry brushing. Uh, I will use just paint spray straight. Added just 2-3 drops of water. Take out excess water from the belly of this and see whether I can actually get this right. Okay, so here some lines are there. Yeah, I think that should be enough because I will not make this. Okay, just the edge that I need for that body, otherwise I won't be able to see that. Just like that. Okay, take some more. Right. That should be enough. I will just leave it at that just a minute before I do anything else. So, so you know, there. So now what I'll do is I will just do very dry brush for the wings. I'll just take a little bit of, as you can see, I'm rubbing it on the palette itself, so I know that here is there. Take out that. Yeah. Very dry brush lines. Make sure you get that very dry brush lines. So, there is one in the back, one in the front, so we have to manage that. We'll manage that with the liner brush once this is done. Okay, so right. So we'll go with some grayish lines with, because that is the one which those veins are you are not able to see much, but very light. First, let's go with that. Mhm. Some lines are there. I can see very. I hope you can see on the camera, but I can see here. They are very light, so I'm not going to. Okay, so that should be enough. Very light. Now we'll deal with the rest of the lines here. One drop of water because liner brush, so it has to hold some paint, not the dry brush. Again, one more drop of water. Like a good consistency that you can actually, you should be able to draw lines. Okay, so this is where it is. Let's try one by one. Okay, so it'll come from the top first. Hmm. This is the back side of it. So here is that. I'll just try to manage here itself some with this brush itself. So that's that. Then I get to this. You get a line. Which goes there, which goes there. Can actually go crazy with this light. So I'm just going to go exactly how it is represented there as much as possible. Still going to draw some lines here. So then because the other side what we are seeing is the top and what we are seeing this is the bottom of the wing. You have to keep that in mind. They are not the same.
If you don't want to use a lighter brush, you can also use a pen if it's possible.
Okay, there yes you can. Why not?
No, if no, otherwise if you're not good at drawing
Try
lines,
using the waterproof pen. So
pen and that is also an option if you don't prefer drawing lines with the brush if something goes wrong. And the
yes,
pen is easier to make thin lines than a brush. So that is also a recommendation.
yeah, you can. It's better.
If anyone knows what type of butterfly this is, please leave it in the comments.
Hmm. Just a white butterfly.
Hmm, like the names of the
Names, yeah, like we had been to that butterfly park, correct?
like common leopard or something.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone knows it, please do comment it down below.
So here is the main thing. What I'm going to do here is again some more dry brush and some more dry brush. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. That's the live painting, so which is actually going live. So I'm trying to make sure. I don't know why this is too light or dark. Yes, that's what it is. Little bit of here dry brush. No, it's not clear. Why? Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Not that. Oh, it's not good. Okay, so sorry about that. So I'm going to take excess water here, just the dry brush again. Very, as you can see as it, that is just the dry brush. I'm going to go against, rub it against this, adjust wherever we need that. And I know that I need a little bit of dark here too. So I'm going to rub that little bit here. That is where, and I'll do the same thing here as well. I know that this is white, so now what I'll do is just to get that little bit brightness somewhere in between. I want to apply a little bit white here and there. I feel that I need to put some white here. I'm looking at my painting in that. Okay, so I still feel that some dark is needed here. I'm going to go with that contrast here. A little bit of contrast here. Edge is crisp, but inside doesn't have to be. That one, yes, makes sense. There. I think I have brought this enough, so I can show the body here and a little bit of the tail there. I think that should be good enough. I will not, if I really want to put a little bit here. It's all white there anyways. Let me just put some more white here, right here on the body. There. I think that should be enough. I will not do too much of. Only thing is, I see the legs on the flower. That's good. That is good. This also. So I think this is just a basic uh, painting. I don't want to get too much into the details of this, but very much white of that particular butterfly is in contrast with the background. So background, foreground, these two flowers main, and then some of them are smudge ones, so everything is good. So let me just take this out, so at least you will see that with the edge it might look even better, because without the edge it's a little bit difficult to, that isolates the painting. This is what I have learned.
Otherwise, with the edges, it looks
When you frame or something, at least the idea behind that is to isolate with other things. There it is. That's a simple palette, simple painting, beginner painting. But like I said, try to manage the background and the foreground color, so it should be good. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and next week again I'll schedule one more. I'll schedule 2 3 continuously. Last week I couldn't do because of some other reasons.
I'll come there next time too.
Yes. So same 12 p.m. IST. This is a very beginner one. I've done even the little bit difficult ones. As long as there is more detail, then you will end up spending more time. There are, I think, some lives are actually more than 2 hours, so you can just go through them. And you can try this out. There are just layer by layer, and the contrast, so it should be good. You can actually try this with blue butterfly. Then you have to make sure that your background is different. So as you can see, it's just a very textured background, everything with sea sponge, and then the color contrast with the butterfly and the background.
Can even try
So
this in different mediums like watercolor. It will be easy to blend with.
watercolor, then you have to make sure that because that area you should not touch, you will not get the weight of it. Then
What if you do the background watercolor and the foreground butterfly acrylic?
possible, anything is possible. You can actually mix and do those ones. So I hope you enjoyed, and then don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you next time. Bye
I'll
bye.
be there too.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.